Allacademy. Always with you.
Hello my dear students, welcome to this online video lecture on elements of mechanical engineering. So in the previous session we have discussed the introduction to fossil fuels, then we have discussed the types of fossil fuels and their advantages and disadvantages, and how these fossil fuels are formed or formation of fossil fuels we have studied in details. And in today's session we're going to discuss with a very important topic, that is solar energy. Then again in solar energy, what are the different processes are included. Then the photosynthesis and biomass process we'll discuss. Then we'll discuss the solar cell, or which is also known as photovoltaic cell, and their advantages and disadvantages. So without wasting much time, let us begin with today's session. Now we all know that for a solar energy, means the whatever energy is generated by using a solar energy, sun is the main source for this energy. Okay, so sun is considered as a main source, and it is considered to be a sphere of intensity of a hot gas matter continuously generating by a thermonuclear fission reaction, which converts the hydrogen atom into helium atom. So this is sun is a sphere. You all know that sun is considered to be a sphere of intensely hot gas matter, which is continuously reacting or generating the thermonuclear fission reaction, and during this reaction the hydrogen is converted into helium atom. Now this thermofission radiant energy, whatever the energy is eliminated, whatever energy coming out during this reaction, so that we call it as a solar energy. Solar energy produced in the sun is a transmit, means whatever energy is produced in the sun, so that is transmitted to earth surface in the quanta of energy called photons. Means here you can see this in this figure. So how the thermonuclear reaction is taking place on the earth surface, in the sun surface, so that will be continuously generating the thermonuclear fission reaction on the surface of an earth, and during that conversion the hydrogen atoms are getting converted into helium atoms, and during that thermonuclear fission reaction some energy is eliminated. So that energy you are seeing in this outside ring, whatever the heat gases coming out, so that is a solar energy. And this solar energy or this radiation, the high temperature radiation what we are coming, so they are coming in the form of a quanta of energy called photons. Now the earth receives this energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation. So earth will receive this in the form of electromagnetic radiations with a wide range of wavelength, and the intensity of a radiation on the earth atmosphere, it is average about 1.35 kilowatt per meter square. It is a 1.35 kilowatt per meter square. So that much of intense of radiations we are getting on the earth surface. So whatever these energy is there, no, so that will travel to the earth in the form of electromagnetic radiation. So we are receiving in the form of solar energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation. So this is about a small introduction about the sun. Now this energy, whatever energy is coming out from the sun, so that is converted into other forms of energy by using a three different process. So by using three different process, the energy is converted. So what are those processes? The first one is a heliochemical process. Heliochemical means by using the sunlight, some chemical reaction will take place. That chemical reaction will produce some amount of energy. So that is the first process. And in the second process is based on the solar energy is utilized to produce the electrical energy. Such a process we call as a helioelectrical process. Okay, and the last one, that is a heliothermal process, and the last one is a heliothermal process, in which the sun energy, the solar energy is utilized to generate some temperature, and that temperature, or to generate some heat, and that heat is utilized to do some useful work or to use some useful application. So these are the main types of an energy conversion process from the solar energy. First one is a heliochemical process, second one is a helioelectric, third one is a heliothermal process. So let us study these different processes in details. Now the first process we are going to discuss is about the heliochemical process. As the name indicates, heliochemical means there must be some chemical reaction. With that chemical reaction we are getting some energy. So the best example, the heliochemical process, it is nothing but the photosynthesis process. It is nothing but the photosynthesis process. So you all know about the photosynthesis process, how this photosynthesis process will take place. And this photosynthesis process is a source for all the fossil fuels and the food for the all the living organisms. Means whatever the living lives are there, for all those things, this photosynthesis is a main source, photosynthesis process. And for also the fossil fuels also, this process is a very important. This is a source for fossil fuels as well as the food for all the living organisms. Now the photosynthesis is a form of biological conversion of solar energy. It is a form of biological conversion of a solar energy into chemical energy, which is called as a bioenergy. So this is called a bioenergy, which is called bioenergy. So hope now you got what is a solar energy, how this chemical reaction. It is a biological conversion of solar energy into chemical energy is called a bioenergy. And this bioenergy will be stored in the plants. So this is stored in the plants. Now the bioenergy is stored as a chemical energy. So it is stored as a chemical energy in the energy rich crops. So energy rich crops means the whatever plants we are using for biodiesels, generate biodiesel seeds, plants, then the sugar cane. So these are the some sunflowers. So these are the some energy rich crops. We call them as a energy rich crops. So these bioenergy is stored in the chemical as a chemical energy in the energy rich crops, which can be converted into some useful energy by combustion or by converted into a storable fuels. Means they are converted either by combustion, means by burning them, or by converting into storable energy. Now you all know in the solar, so you may have a question that, sir, how you can say that there is a chemical reaction in the photosynthesis process. You all know about this one. Still also I will just clarify this one. So whatever sunlight is there, sun energy is there, along with the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere and the water supplied to the plants. So that all three will react in a photosynthesis process. This process is a photosynthesis process. They will react and they will form a glucose as well as oxygen. Means carbon dioxide is absorbed and oxygen is liberated. Along with that one, some glucose is produced by the plant, and this whole process is called a photosynthesis. So now biomass and bioenergy. So biomass and the biofuels are the best example for the heliochemical process. Means where this sun energy is utilized into some chemical energy. So the best example is a biomass, and the biofuels are the best example. So let us discuss how these solar energy helpful to this biomass in details now. So here is an example. So here is an example that shows a biomass plant. So that we're going to discuss in details now. Now this is a simple layout of a biogas plant, or a biomass, you can say the biogas plant, and it is a fixed type. It is a fixed type dome. It is a fixed dome. In a biomass plant or a biogas plant, there are different types of designs are there, and this is a very commonly, and this is a traditional one, which is called as a fixed dome type. So whatever the energy plants are there, and whatever the vegetables, organic waste, the animal waste, all the waste are made into slurry. They made into paste. They are made into paste, or they chopped into small pieces, so that the chemical reaction will take place easily. So all those chopped organic waste and the slurry of this animal waste are fed into this container, are fed into this inlet. You can, the mixture tank, they will mix, they will put into this mixture tank. They will mix very well, and after that they will allow this mixture of slurry using this inlet chamber. So they will deposit all this mixture into here. So then after that one, they will that the whatever waste are there, the slurry is there, that will enter into the main chamber. So this is a main chamber, or you can say that reactor chamber. Now as the sunlight falls on this one, after some few days, after putting this slurry into this main chamber, after some time, so the due to that surrounding heat, so there is a chemical reaction going to start. So that is an anaerobic function, anaerobic chemical reaction. So during that chemical reaction, these slurry will start to liberate the methane gases. They start to liberate the methane gases, and that methane is used from this pipe. You are observing, no, this pipe, outlet pipe. So that methane gas is utilized. And after completing the reactions, after complete elimination of liberating the methane, the whatever left out part is there, the left out product, so left out waste is there, so that will come out from the outlet. Means as again this will be continuous. After some time, when the methane will go in, liberation of methane going to stop, no, again they will fed the fresh slurry here. So that will pushes the left out product or left out slurry from this outlet chamber, and that will be removed from the outlet or overflow tank. So this is how the solar energy helpful to in the biogas plants, where the chemical reaction is generated, or chemical reaction is influenced with the help of sun or solar energy. So hope you clear with this one. And even this question is asked in a couple of times for an examination for 8 marks, and once it is asked for a 10 marks. So just you need to draw the neat same diagram and write down the what are the different parts are there, and write down the how the working will going to takes place. So this is, you need to write it. So let us move to the next one. The next very important conversion process is a helioelectrical process. I already said that this is a process where the solar energy is utilized to generate into some electrical energy. Now in helioelectric process, the solar energy is converted into electrical energy using a principle of photovoltaic principle. So the sun energy or the solar energy is converted into electrical energy. Now, although this principle is known from the long back, even though this principle was known over the centuries, but the first solar cell, means the system which generates the electrical energy by using a solar energy, is produced in 1954. Now the semiconductors are the best example for the direct conversion of solar cells into solar energy into electrical energy. Means these are the best example which converts the solar energy into electrical energy. These semiconductor, which is also known as a silicon cell, or sometimes they may ask a photovoltaic cell. So many students have confused this question. So sometimes they may ask with a neat sketch, explain the semiconductor cell, or sometimes they ask a silicon with a neat sketch, explain the silicon cell. And in some question paper they have asked with a neat sketch, explain photovoltaic process or photovoltaic cell. So no need to confusion, all the three are same. So this is a simple schematic of about the semiconductor device, or which is also known as a photovoltaic cell or a silicon cell. This is a simple figure about the photovoltaic cell. And this semiconductor device is made either from P or N type base material, into which one more impurities of a positively polarity are introduced to form a PN layer, or we call it as a PN junction. Now the interference between the layers having the opposite polarity is called PN junction. Means the interference layer having the opposite polarity is called a PN junction. Here you can see this one. This is a PN junctions. Okay, PN junction in between this. This is above one is a N type semiconductor, below one is a P type, and in between this whatever yellow color line you are observing. So that is a PN junction. Now when a PN junction is a semiconductor is exposed to sunlight, some of solar photons are absorbed in the PN junction. Means when it is exposed to solar light, here I've shown the solar radiation. So some quantity of this sunlight or the solar photons are absorbed, because I've already said whatever energy is coming out from sun, it is in the form of quanta of energy which is called as photons, and those photons are absorbed in the p-n junction. Now this energy of photons is absorbed by the free electron and they start to move freely. So here I have shown some different figure, both are same. So this is for your reference. I have shown two different figures. You can draw any one figure. Now this this energy of photons absorbed by the free electrons, they start to move freely. Here I have shown the movement of electrons. Okay, movement of electrons I have shown here. Now the bond from the which the electrons was ejected creates the hole which also mobile. Thus the ejected free electrons and the hole form the electric hole pair, means whatever ejected electrons are there, along with this hole they form the electron hole. The electron and the holes being opposite charge will pushed in a different directions by the electric field near the junction, means they will be pushed in a different direction in the electric field near the junction. Now the electric field in the p-n junction pushes the hole to the p region and the electrons to the n regions, means they pushes the hole to the p regions and electrons to the n region. Here you can see this one. So they pushes the p, means the holes into p region and electrons into n region. Now thus the p region becomes a positively charged. I have shown this plus I have shown it here. You can take a screenshot and you can check it out. So the positively charged the p region becomes positively charged and n regions becomes negatively charged. Here you can see this one. So I have shown it here. So this is a n positive. Okay, so this will becomes a positive and this end will becomes negatively charged. Now as the external load is applied, the charge difference will drive the current through it. So when I apply the load, here I have shown the load. When you apply the load, so due to the charge differences, it will drive the current through it. Now the current will flow as long as the sunlight keeps generating the electron hole pair, means as long as the sunlight falls on this semiconductor, so they will form the continuous electron hole pair. So with the help of that electron hole pair, so there will be continuous production of sun or the electrical energy. So this is how the electrical energy is formed by using the semiconductor. And this is a definite question in your examination. With a need sketch, explain the photovoltaic cell, or with a need sketch, explain the solar cell, or sometimes they may ask with a need sketch, explain semiconductor device. So you need to draw these figure, either the previous one or this one, and you need to explain this process. Understood? So let us move to the next one. So let us see the advantages and disadvantages of solar cell. Let us look into the advantages and disadvantages of a solar cell. A solar plant is basically a renewable resource, means it is known that it is a renewable resource which is available abundantly. Now it is a very easy to operate compared to the other power sources of renewable type. Compared to other renewable type, it is very easy. If I have that semiconductor, if I just keep it in a solar sunlight, obviously it will start converting its energy. Now it does not produce any noise and it does not have any moving parts. Yes, it does not produces any noise or it does not produce any moving particles. So there is no risk in the handling. It does not generate the emissions or radiations. So it is a renewal, means obviously it does not emit any gases or any emissions or radiations. Now the solar cell is having a longer life, about 30 years. They will have a life about 30 years and it is a very cost effective. It is very cost effective. It needs less capital investment. It needs less capital. It is a very cost effective in the sense of maintenance. So for a long 30 years you are running, means there will be maintenance cost, less maintenance cost, and for initial investment it is also very less, and it is easy to maintain and it requires a low maintenance. It is nothing but both are the points are same. It requires easy maintenance. Only you need to keep that one clean and you need to keep it in a sunlight so that energy is extracted. So these are the few advantages. Let us look into the disadvantages of this solar cell. Now if you look into the solar disadvantages of a solar cell, so this should be okay. The first one, it cannot be used in the absence of a light from the many resources. Means, so if there is absence of light means, so this semiconductor or the photovoltaic cell is generating the electricity only when it has a sufficient amount of sunlight. When there is absence of light means obviously there will be no photons, so it will not produce that quantity of electrical energy. Now it incurs very high initial cost and installation. Means, for a smaller capacity it is okay. For smaller capacity or small machine, small semiconductor. If you want a large quantity, then the investment becomes bit high. Investment and installation cost becomes very high. Now during the cloudy weather, less power is generated. That is obviously during the cloudy weather, so the sunlight will not reach to the earth's surface completely, so that the energy production will be less, or the electricity production will be less. A very large geographical area is needed in order to replace solar panels or solar cells. Means, I need more area for a large capacities. So that is also means larger the absorbing area, larger will be production of energy. If I have only this much of semiconductor means, so whatever area is there, only that absorption will get a sun energy. If I want larger quantity means, I need to extend this the sunlight falling area should be increased, so that I can extract more or I can produce more electricity. Now the off-grid application requires the energy storage. The next one is a photovoltaic solar cell generates the direct current, means whatever current it is generating, it is a direct current, and I required additional inverters or additional converters that converts the DC current into AC current. So that is also, these are the few disadvantages, few drawbacks of a solar cell. Let us discuss some of the questions, how the questions may be framed, and what will be the marks of weightage on this topic. So first one is write a note on a heliochemical process. This will be asked for 6 marks. So you need to generalize the whole concept and you need to explain it. The next one is explain the solar energy conversion process in the photosynthesis process. You need to draw the plant, sunlight, chemical reaction. You need to write, that is a sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, and photosynthesis direction. Then it will give glucose and the oxygen. So that you need to write it, and how the process will take place, that you need to explain this. And this question may be asked for 6 marks. The next one is with a neat sketch explain the production of a biogas using the biomass plant. So that will be for 8 marks. Whatever I have shown the figure, you need to draw that one, explain the process, and you need to write what are the components, what are the different parts in that biomass. So that you need to explain it, and this will be asked for 8 or 10 marks. Now with a note on the energy extraction from a solar energy using a electrical process. Means solar energy, how the electrical means how the energy is extracted from using a helioelectric process, that you need to explain it. That is means how the photons are converted, so that all things you need to explain it. Now with the neat sketch explain the solar cell. So as I said, no, sometimes they ask a solar cell, sometimes they ask photovoltaic cell, sometimes the question is instead of asking both, they will ask a semiconductor. All are the same. You need to draw that P and N junction diagram, and you need to explain how the solar energy is converted, and how the N type becomes negatively charged, how the P type becomes positively charged, how the holes and electron holes or pairs are formed. So that you need to explain in details. So that will be for 8 or 10 marks. Next, list the advantages and disadvantages of a solar cell. So that will be for 6 to 8 marks. So you need to, these are some few important questions, so that you need to go through. So almost all I have covered all the topics in these questions. Okay. So hope, dear students, so whatever concepts we have discussed today, that is a photosynthesis process, biomass, solar cell, photovoltaic cell, hope it is clear to you people. Still, if you are having any doubts, please do comment it in a comment box, and share this video to your friends also.
Click on subscribe button and press the bell icon to get updates from Allacademy.